Today, we're here to tackle a tough topic, the not-so-favorable situation of the Dallas Mavericks, led by the young superstar Luka Doncic and the enigmatic Kyrie Irving. Despite high expectations from the team this season, they've been plagued by injuries, controversy, and inconsistency on the court. With mounting pressure from fans and critics alike, it's clear that the Mavericks are facing a pivotal moment in their season. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the challenges and obstacles they're up against, and explore what it will take to turn things around. So grab a seat and get ready for a candid discussion on the state of the Dallas Mavericks in 2023. The NBA made news on February 6, 2023, when Kyrie Irving was dealt from the Brooklyn Nets to the Dallas Mavericks. One of the most impressive young ballers, Luka Doncic, was finally going to have another superstar on his squad. He intended to work with Uncle Drew directly. What was once a source of anticipation, enthusiasm, and Hollywood box revenue has now devolved into a nightmare. The Charlotte Hornets, one of the poorest teams in the NBA, who are playing without their star player LaMelo Ball, is the team that you'll lose back-to-back games to. I mean, it doesn't get much worse than that. All of this culminated in the saddest event I've ever seen in Luka's brief 5-year career. I don't always feel like it's me. I'm just out there because it's fun to smile on the court, but it's been so difficult. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie and Luka don't seem to be doing very well. It's quite perplexing to have Kyrie Irving on a basketball squad. Uncle Drew is the NBA player I find to be the most perplexing. And let me explain. This guy is an absolute superstar if we simply look at his stats. Exceptional shooting splits of 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists fell just short of 50 to 40 to 90. Additionally, he's a box office success. People spend a lot of money to see him play, and when he's on the court, he rarely disappoints. He is by far the finest ball handler in NBA history. His ability to slither between opponents, reach the basket, and finish in traffic is unmatched in my opinion. Additionally, he possesses a mid-range shot and an outside shot in his toolkit. From an offensive perspective, I believe it's fair to say that Kyrie Irving is up there among the best players in NBA history. Off the basketball floor, he's perhaps one of the most kind-hearted people as well. He has given $323,000 to Feeding America in the past year alone, worked with City Harvest to provide 250,000 meals for New Yorkers, teamed up with Nike to provide 17 pallets of food and masks to the Standing Rock Sioux tribe, pledged $1.5 million to support WNBA players who opted out of the 2020 season, paid the college tuition for 9 HBCU students from Lincoln University, and bought a home for the Floyd family. He is one of the finest basketball players in the world based only on his resume, and he willingly contributes to society. However, he manages to do some damage everywhere he goes in the NBA. Let me briefly review what has transpired in his career so far. In 2017, he traded for the Celtics in a move that surprised the Cavaliers, and also threw some shade in LeBron's way. Then, when he was in Boston, a lot of things occurred, including an altercation with Jaylen Brown, a star for the Celtics. At the time, he also said to the media, "If you guys will have me back, I plan on re-signing here." But as we all know, he ultimately left Boston and joined Durant in Brooklyn. Then, when he was playing for the Brooklyn Nets, he didn't get along with James Harden, a previous MVP teammate, which ultimately compelled them to trade for Ben Simmons. And not long after that, he engaged in a bitter argument with Nets owner Joe Tsai, which is possibly the ugly owner-to-player conflict to occur in the previous 20 years. After that, he was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, as we all are aware. So let me tell you something you may not know already. The Mavericks were 3 games above before this transaction. 500 points, enough for 5th place in the West. Well, they're now 3 games under after roughly 2 months after the transaction, 11th in the West and 500. They are currently not even considered a play-in. Guys, if you had told me at the beginning of the year that the Mavericks would finish the season higher in the standings than OKC, the Pelicans, and the Timberwolves, I would have thought you were insane. And to make matters worse, Mavericks star Luka Doncic recently said that he was no longer having fun or smiling during games. In terms of basketball, the Mavericks have essentially reached their lowest point. I'm not claiming Kyrie is the cause of everything, but these are the actual realities of what's happening in Dallas right now. The Mavericks are in danger because of the Kyrie dilemma. To start, they're most definitely not going to secure a playoff spot at this pace. The most they can hope for with so few games remaining is to just secure a play-in spot. which is absurd considering they were in the conference finals last year and possess one of the top players in the league right now in Luka Doncic. On the other side of the coin, I'm sure the media will point the finger at Kyrie if they don't advance to the playoffs or play-in round. And because he'll be an unrestricted free agent over the winter, there is a good likelihood that he will go to Los Angeles, which has always been his favorite location. The Mavericks, who had to give up Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith to get the All-Star guard, would have lost two valuable players as a result. Where would the Mavericks go if that happened? This has to be Mark Cuban's greatest fear. Where would it go? They would have lost three important players from the conference finals run in the previous season, including Jalen Brunson, who they utterly mishandled by refusing to pay for some strange reason. They screwed it up, man. He's now helped the Knicks reach the playoffs while averaging all-star numbers after all. Anyway, this brings up the crucial query. Are the Dallas Mavericks now in danger of also losing Luka? Yes, it is the solution. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Luka's future, but the Slovenian guard is now in his sixth season in the NBA. He had previously received a pass because of his youth each time he was eliminated from the playoffs until this year. What is he to do, however, as he approaches his peak and the Mavericks team continues to deteriorate? Sincerity be damned, where can Luka go from here if Kyrie leaves? The free agent list for 2023 also doesn't seem very enticing. The best they can hope for, based only on the list, is probably Fred VanVleet, but only if they give him the maximum deal. As excellent as VanVleet is, I suppose Jalen Brunson would have been a better guard for them. They won't likely get anything favorable on the trade market either since, let's face it, they don't have anything to give. Markieff Morris, Christian Wood, and Kyrie are all expected to enter the free agent market. In any case, it seems like they made a mistake with the roster, particularly because they are also aging. Dwight Powell, the center who can sprint to the basket, will be 32 next year. Maxi Kleber, their other center, will also be 32. Reggie Bullock, one of their best defenders, will turn 33 at that point. In other words, almost every major role player will be approaching the end of their prime. If Luka plays with this squad the next season, he will essentially be a one-man army that will criticize every missed call. He'll also move from being a possible successor to Larry Bird to being just another player who failed to win a championship. At this point, everything points to Luka finally pushing his way out of Dallas, which may be a difficult pill to take. LeBron, who is his favorite player, achieved it despite spending 7 seasons in Cleveland with mediocre quality. But even after saying that, I still find it hard to see Luka wearing anything other than a Mavs jersey. It would simply be too strange. Given that he's presently 31 years old and that his ailments are beginning to mount, Kyrie has placed himself in a difficult situation. He requests the same 4-year, about $200 million contract that every other superstar is receiving. But rebuilding clubs would rather invest in a younger player, and championship teams wouldn't want to take a chance on him given his past. Ironically, the Lakers are the only team he will have a chance to join, although the main reason he left the Cavaliers in the first place was to escape LeBron's obscurity and establish himself as the club's leader. At this moment, LeBron is like Thanos because he's reluctant to accept his failure. But now, we want to hear from you. What do you think the Mavericks need to do to turn things around? Do you agree with our assessment, or do you have a different take on the team's struggles? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more sports content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.